Hey, you wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky!
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rogin Kim.
California dreaming.
Hi there. Welcome to the Rogin Kimcast. It's me, your host, Rogin Kim. Great show for you today, guys, I think. Well, here's the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You know what I mean? There's like a whole border wall thing going on. You got your Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's new Green New Deal, new AOC, GND. You got a giant toxic mudslide in Brazil. Fucking killed a bunch of people. You got a ferry that capsized in Tanzania. Over like 200 something people killed. Some of you out there might be like, there was a ferry that capsized in Korea also a few years back. 200 kids died there. And yeah, that's true. But why are you bringing that up now, huh? What are you trying to one up a tragedy with your own tragedy? Is that your tragedy more important because it involves people that you care about? All right, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. You know what? It's a tragic thing all around. Over 400 people died because of capsized ferries. Not in total. I bet there's a lot of capsized ferries that we don't hear about. You know what I mean? Like just in smaller backwater places. I guess that's not fair. Even in New York City, maybe a ferry could capsize and no one would know. It's possible. Completely possible. Unlikely in this day and age. But, you know, I think if life is telling me anything, it's that I don't know anything. You know, I really don't know. No idea. None of us do. I don't think. I mean, do you? If you do, please let me know. RoginKim.com at gmail.com. Just, wait, did I just say RoginKim.com? No, Rogin.kim at gmail.com. Or go to RoginKim.com to check out my website, which is, I guess, my social media page. Social media, big part of our lives now. Do we need it? I don't know. What do you think? Let's go onto the street. Hi, guys. I'm here asking people on the street whether or not they think social media is necessary to their lives. Oh, yeah, I need my social media. If I don't have my social media in the morning, I will fucking go nuts. I will just literally stab myself. Like, I will stab myself. I'm not a cutter. Okay, I apologize to the cutting community out there if there's any cutters listening. Or I don't know if that's no longer an appropriate thing to call people who cut themselves cutters. Is that too cutting? Is that too soon, too close, too real, too much? I mean, it's barely 3 minutes and I've gotten into cutting. What am I cutting? All right. Anyways. I think I'm going all over the place because I do remember saying AOC, GND. Yeah, Green New Deal. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay? Nancy Pelosi clapping like that. That clap, you see that clap? Oh, my God. And blackface everywhere. Everybody's doing blackface. Lots of blackface coming out of Virginia. Politicians wearing blackface. That seems to be a thing. Abortion, blackface. All these things. Big issues. But all I really care about is Game of Thrones, guys. I really don't care about anything else going on. Climate change, it's coming. It's here. It's 5 past years have been the hottest years on record. Does that mean? What does it mean? I don't know. We're all gonna die. I don't know. But where's the Game of Thrones? It's not April yet. I'm watching Game of Thrones. I started over. I started from the beginning. I can't remember. Sometime a couple weeks ago, I realized if I could watch like one episode a day, that'd be like I could catch up, you know, be freshly caught up. This is probably my 3rd time going through it, though. It's not like, I don't know. And it's weird. Even the 3rd time through, I'm discovering things. It's a fantastic show. You know, you can see in the directing, you know, like the shots that they use, how, you know, the Red Wedding or Joffrey dying, like all these big things. They're sort of laying the groundwork for it visually with the shots they use and stuff. And so that's cool. And also, you know, hey, it's a great show. fantastically acted. I can't. Who's going to argue with me there? Some people don't like it, and that's fine. And for those people, I say, think about it like the Avengers. Okay, like the Avengers coming. The Avengers is coming out in April. I also care about the Avengers coming out. I want to see it. Hyped for that. See, don't really care about World War III. I don't. I just don't. I mean, not when there's an Infinity War. There's who cares about that when there's Putin, when you got Thanos happening, snapping. You got the snapping. I don't care about Crimea when I want to know what happened to all the people who disappeared in the dust. I don't really care that much, honestly. I mean, if I had to pick one, Game of Thrones or Avengers, I would pick Game of Thrones. I mean, I would. I just think that it was a longer investment. Avengers is like fun. It's a good time. It would be a good time, but I don't ultimately care. It's all make-believe. I know that. I know Game of Thrones is make-believe too. I know it's all make-believe. But I think television has this thing where you invest yourself in the characters, and I just want to see the shit go down. The dragon fight. I want to see the dragon fight. I want to see the Clegane Bowl. I want to see all the shit go down. All right? So let's just make it happen. Give the people what they want, or else who knows what could happen. And so one of the things I started thinking of, like, this is where we put our stock. This is where our emotions lay in. Like, I guess I shouldn't speak for you. I'm speaking for me. I have no values at all. I'm completely amoral. And all I care about is a fictional television show and the culmination of it, which ultimately will mean nothing. Not that that's all I care about. Like, I don't care about the humans around me and people and all of that. And, I'm just saying, like, what actually stirs up emotions and excitement. Because I just feel inundated with news about politics, inundated with news about disasters, disastrous, ominous warnings of things to come, possible things that aren't even real, things that, it's like, if true, or headlines that start with questions, right? Like, have you ever heard the saying that if you ever read a headline with a question, like, is fat really the cause of all this heart disease? The answer is probably no, because the question allows them to sidestep the whole fact-checking thing and saying whether or not something is true. Because you can't just be like, fat leads, like eating saturated fats leads directly to heart problems. They can't do that because you have to back those claims up. But you could ask the question. Then it's really not journalism at that point, right? I mean, then you're just asking questions, which is kind of like what I can do and you can do. Like, most of us can do that. I think that's fine. What's going on? Media. What you doing, guys? I mean, like, you care about us, or are you just trying to make a buck? Feels like you're just trying to make a buck. I think that's just the problem now, right? Like, it's just transparent. I mean, maybe that's like a good thing of having Trump as president, is that now that the leader of our country is just out to make a buck, and that's all he gives a fuck about, we can all be like, yeah, that's America, bro. We don't care about stuff. We just want to make a buck. And if we need to burn this place down to do it, we'll fucking do it. Depending on how much, just give me the number. What's the number? So I think that's, if anything, we're teaching the children that they need to do is sell themselves out as soon as possible. Sell yourself. Put yourself on social media and get likes. Like. Get the numbers and likes. Which, that will be what drives us, right? China's implementing a thing where it's a social credit system, right? Where you get, like, it's like that Black Mirror episode where you get ratings, like Uber ratings for your personality. Mine would suck. I think mine would, well, I don't know. I guess I'm not a very good judge of how people see me sometimes, except on stage, maybe, just for that very specific context. So I'm no good in person, I think. That's not true. Come approach me, say hi. But what I'm saying is, like, nowadays, people in general, I think, interact socially, like, via devices, social media, online. There's a lot less interpersonal connection going on. People don't know how to act in public. That's really, I think, one of the reasons why one of my favorite things to look at nowadays when I'm bored is the subreddit Public Freakout. Go onto the subreddit Public Freakout. It's just video clips of people losing their shit over random things. Sometimes it's turns into a fight and is violent, but other times it's just somebody just losing it, like having a tantrum. And I don't know what it is. It's clearly not just me. It's kind of a gawking thing, right? Like if you see a car accident, you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? But I think there's also kind of a, human beings have mirror neurons. You know what I mean? Like we got neurons, and we see something happening in another person, there's some kind of reflection going on. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we feel exactly what the other person's feeling, but there's some kind of neurological empathetic connection going on. You just some mirroring. Okay, they don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like that's what it is. That's the fascination of watching something, watching a fight, watching somebody go crazy, or even watching performance, watching comedy, watching a death-defying thing. Like just watching it, it's like part of you is that person, but then you're not. And so you're it's a form of hypnosis in a way. It's a very strange thing about humanity. It's a very strange thing about just being a social animal, and something I don't know if we know anything about. I mean, I'm just making this up basically, but I know there's studies. There's things about how we're all connected in some ways, or how we're doing what we can to figure out what it means to be a human being, to be social creatures. Very little, in fact. I mean, think of all the effort that's been put into killing ourselves, like how much we can, like if we wanted to, everybody on the planet could die like over like 100, 200 times over and over. We're like really good at that. But when it comes to, let's say, I don't know, understanding what makes somebody want to kill themselves, we don't know. We're like, I don't know, here, just fucking try shooting this gun. I don't know, it makes me happy. Like, we don't have any answers, right? Like, what about the fundamental emptiness that we all feel as sentient creatures? Some of us do a good job of masking it, or maybe constantly moving and trying to outrun it until death catches up to you, and then on your deathbed you have that regret, whatever it is. That's all of us. But what do we have to offer as a society to the people living in it as a way of dealing with that? Nothing. We got nothing. All we got is money and fame and sex. We get just stuff, the regular stuff, but just now with money. It's just the stuff that we've always had, that we've always sought to fill that hole. That's the story of the old Buddha, right? Like the sort of Siddhartha, the dude who became the Buddha, right? His whole thing was, first he grew up as this prince, completely shielded from all the horrors of the world, never knew anything bad, until one day he saw an old person and was like, whoa, what the fuck is that? And they were like, fuck, we gotta tell him. Tell him about old people. So they had to tell him about old people, and then he realized, oh shit, people die. And then he finally made it outside the walls, because they tried to keep him inside the walls of the palace where everything was great. And one day he made it out and saw, I guess back in the day, poor in India, and I imagine other places with high population density, there would just be like piles of dead bodies. There would just be piles of dead bodies just rotting. That is where the poor ass dead bodies go. And there'd just be a pile of them. And he saw that, and he was like, shit, like we all grow old and die, and we all end up there. Like, and that sort of became the opening of his sort of philosophical journey, right? The journey of like, what does this all mean? We're all gonna fucking die. It's not all like, his father, the king, tried to shield him from all the horrors of the world, and he had thought that that's what the world was. Like, oh, everything's so great, until he realized, oh no, like we all die and shit. Like that's, so then what is it? Right? So he decided he's got to leave the palace, get out of there, walk around, right? The first thing he decides to do is like, you know what? Maybe the answer is, like there are all these sadhus, or like those ascetic monk dudes who kind of like starve themselves and do yoga and shit, and like do these weird postures. That's what enlightenment is really. Like maybe it's to have nothing, strip yourself of everything, starve yourself. And he would only eat like 1 grain of rice a day, according to the story. He got so skinny and so hungry, and he just meditated and he was just like, I got nothing. And after that, he was like, this I don't know, this sucks. He just basically was like, I don't think this is, I got nothing. All I got is, I'm just really hungry. It's, it's just nothingness. I don't think this is it. So then he goes the other way. He's the other way, and he's like, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to eat and fuck, and I'm just going to have it all. Like, I'm going to, instead of being devoid of pleasure, I'm going to just have all the pleasure. So he did. He just ended up banging this, like, brothel lady, like a madam or something. He was just brothel banging. I don't know. Somehow he made a shitload of money. He got rich. He was fucking, yeah, he was living it up, doing a fucking, and and I feel like we can all identify with all these phases in our lives, right? There's times where we had nothing, and that's what it was, Spartan. That's what it is. This is what we got. Like, I don't know about you, but I've had plenty of times in my life where that's what it is. Like, I'm only eating this week. I only have X amount of money. Where am I sleeping tonight? Whatever. And then there's times of opulence. I haven't quite hit that point yet, but, I can imagine myself acting a fool, trying to find meaning in that, seeking pleasure. That's like my dad, definitely my dad for sure. Wherever he is right now, he's out there. Also, I think it's of where we are as a society. We're at this opulent phase. At least Americans. We're at the phase where, like, fucking, what can't we do? Like, what? And we're at an absurd, ridiculous, our entertainment. Look at just what we're doing as our entertainment. It's like all referential now. We don't even have idea. We're just making, like, all our Disney movies that are coming out are all remakes of movies that don't need remakes. Like The Lion King is having a computer CGI remake of it where there's no. It'd be cool if they use real lions. Like, what? But what? There's no point. No point to any of it. It's just cash grab. That's all it is. Everything is just a cash grab. That's where we are. Right? So that kind of feels like it. And then the dude, the Siddhartha, decided, you know what? That's not the answer either. All this pleasure, materialism, opulence. I was going to go sit in this tree. That's what he did. He decided to just go sit under a tree. And he did. And then he sat there and he was tempted and all that shit, whatever, blah, 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 became the Buddha. All right, there you go. Dun, 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 dun. The story of the Buddha. Told to you in a few easy minutes. Well, okay, so what was my point? What was my point of all that? Why did I just tell you the story? Well, it's just in this quest, in our society, let's say as people, not like as individuals, but just as a group, right? I mean, sure, individuals are important. It's libertarian, individuals, yay, but you have to also admit that we're in a civilization, we're in a society, we have a culture, we have a conversation going on. Okay, so there's a little bit of group there. And what are we doing as a group? Right now, we're just kind of trying, we could see, let's say, in politics, there's some push to become, like socialism is a big buzzword now, like some push for equality, social equality, income equality, whatever this equality is. And then there's a push against equality where people are saying, you don't want enforced equality. You don't want like complete communism where you're forced to have an equal outcome. You want equality of opportunity, but then you still want merit, competition. You want all that, And both these voices are really valid. Honestly, you can't have one without the other. I feel like we need a system that encourages both. But ultimately, what I'm interested in is a culture or a society that actively engages in the questions about just what it means to be a human being. What it means to be a human being, and how can we improve the lives of fellow human beings? And not only that, what can we do as human beings just make life better? How do we find better balance? How do we improve? How do we undo the damage we did with industrialism? How do we undo the damage we did with colonialism? How do we undo the damage that we do to ourselves psychically with materialism? Is there damage being done? We don't even know. We don't know anything. We just do stuff. We're just doing stuff. We're just nuking the world. We're just strip mining the world. We got all these phones and shit. We don't give a fuck about the slaves making them. Okay, I'm not going to go into that again, but you understand my point. We are living just at the top of the world blindly, loving it. But when are we going to question it all? When are we going to stop? When are we going to have some tools to kind of deal with what it means to be alive? When are we going to get some health care? When are we going to get some mental health help? When are we going to get a little bit of, I don't know, some attempt to make life less hellish for those living in complete hells, and really just don't you think that as people, like, humanity is completely capable at this point of just, let's say, just improving the energy infrastructure, making it more efficient. That's something, it's hard to argue against that, right? Yeah, we can't, because I guess the only argument would be like, oh, it would cost a lot of money or something. Yeah, but how much money do we lose through the inefficiency of our energy grid? Now, I bet you don't even know that. I bet you just, look, Google it. It's fucking, it's something that needs to happen. I'm just like grasping at straw. I'm just making that. I just made that up. I mean, I'm not making it up. I know that's something that needs to happen. I'm just saying there's like all these things that could be improved that we're not really, like, doesn't seem to be part of the conversation. I guess, does it matter? Does it matter that it's not part of the conversation? I mean, what power do we ultimately have as people? What power do we ultimately have as consumers? But should we be blind? Should we just be blind and go careening off the cliff because we got no better guidance? I don't know. Is there some way of undoing all this damage? Or I don't know. I mean, I don't have answers. I'm just a guy. I'm actually a comedian. Is this supposed to be funny? This is what happens. See, this is what happens when I just ramble at a mic. Don't let me do it. It just ends up getting dark and deep and dark, like the Marianas Trench. But not to say that I'm like some deep guy, dark guy. I just this is why I have trouble talking to people. Is all. People don't want to talk about this. They want to talk about the Super Bowl or Adam Levine's nipples or something. I don't know how to contribute to that. You just be like, yeah, we're all spiraling into some kind of nihilistic hell, aren't we? No, we can't talk about that. This is a postmodern nightmare, huh? Isn't it? I don't know. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Okay. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm so very grateful for the fact that there are people listening to this, and please follow me on the things, on the medias that are social. Why not? I need the numbers, and I can get the reps, and I could start. Oh my god, I need to be booked. That's what it is. I need to get in front of people. This is not my act, Anyways, follow me on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, on the Instas. Do all that at Rogin Kim. Thank you so much for listening.